Hello students, today we are going to start a new chapter, breathing and exchange of gases. Fine. Now before starting with the main topics, we will talk about the introduction of the chapter, and here we will study about respiration, breathing and respiratory organs. Fine. Now what is respiration? Is respiration different from breathing? C6H12O6 is glucose, this is oxygen, CO2, water and energy. Fine. We know that oxygen is utilized by living organisms for the breakdown of food, releasing large amount of the energy, and that energy is utilized by our cells for doing various activities. Fine. And in this catabolic reaction, now what is catabolic reaction? Catabolic reaction means the breakdown of complex molecule into the simpler ones. So during this catabolic reaction, CO2 is released by the cells, and CO2 is very harmful. That means O2 has to be continuously supplied to the cells and CO2 has to be removed from the cells. Fine. This exchange of O2 and CO2, or you can say the exchange of O2 from the environment with CO2 released from the cells, is known as breathing. Fine. And what is respiration? Respiration is this chemical reaction, or you can say the chemical process taking place inside the cells, releasing large amount of energy. So we can say that respiration is a chemical process involving the breakdown of food in the presence of oxygen, releasing large amount of energy inside the cells. Fine. And breathing is simply a physical process which involves the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Fine. So breathing is a part of respiration. Okay. Now let's talk about respiratory organs. Fine. Now different organisms use different things for the respiration, or you can say for breathing. Fine. It depends upon that what is the habitat of the organism and what is the level of organization. Fine. Habitat means where the organism is living. Fine. So according to habitat, that organism will use the breathing organ or the respiratory organ. Fine. And level of organization means whether the body is very simple, or you can say made up of cells, or the tissue, or the organ or organ system. We know that smallest unit of our life is cell. Group of cell will make tissue, group of tissue will make organ, group of organ will make organ system, and organ system will make organism. Fine. So the body is like made up of cells only, or the tissue, or the organ, or the organ system. We can take the example of some invertebrates, for example like sponges, coelentrates and flatworms. They don't have special respiratory organs. So how the exchange of gases takes place? Exchange of gases takes place through the entire body surface simply by diffusion. Fine. Next we can take the example of earthworms. They can use moist cuticle for the exchange of gases. Cuticle is the outermost layer of earthworm, and it is very thin and non-cellular. Fine. And what about insects? Insects come under Arthropoda phylum. Okay. So insects use a network of the tube called as tracheal system for the exchange of gases. Now what about aquatic arthropods? Insect is also an arthropod, but insects, where they found? Or you can say they are terrestrial. Means terrestrial arthropods use a network of tube for the exchange of gases, and aquatic arthropods use gills for the respiration. When respiration or the exchange of gases takes place through gills, it is known as branchial respiration. Fine. And aquatic arthropods are known as crustaceans. So crustaceans use gills for the exchange of gases. Fine. Now mollusks, they use lungs as well as gills for the respiration, and when respiration takes place through lungs, it is called as pulmonary respiration. So mollusks can use both lungs as well as gills. Fine. Next is, we will talk about vertebrates. These all are invertebrates. Fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals, all are vertebrates. Fine. So fishes use gills for the respiration, and amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals, they use lungs for the respiration. Fine. Now there is a special thing about amphibians. Fine. We know that amphibians can live inside the water or outside the water. Fine. And if they are living inside the water, then why cannot they use gills for the respiration? The answer is, most of the amphibians begin their life as water dwelling animals, complete with gills for breathing underwater. As they grow to adulthood, amphibians normally become land dwelling creatures, lose their gills and develop lungs for breathing. Fine. See, we can take the example of frog. Fine. Two types of respiration can take place in frog: cutaneous respiration and pulmonary respiration. When respiration takes place through skin, it is called as cutaneous respiration, and when respiration takes place through lungs, it is called as pulmonary respiration. Now, as frogs can live inside the water or outside the water, so when they are present inside the water, they will use their moist skin for the respiration. Fine. But on land, they can use buccal cavity or skin or lungs. Fine. That means if they are in water, they will use skin only, but if they are on the land, then they can use skin also as well as buccal cavity or the lungs. Skin is common for water as well as for the land. Fine. So this was all about the introduction of the chapter. In the next videos, we will study about human respiratory system. Fine.